Well, good morning, everybody. It is Memorial Day 2026, and today is the day that I get to open my smelter that I got for Christmas this past Christmas. I've been waiting all winter to learn and start smelting copper and silver. And Meg is here, and she is very happy to be up in the Northwoods. And let's get it started. And this is my first attempt at a video to be posted on YouTube and Facebook of me and my projects up in the Northwoods. Okay, so I've opened my boxes, and some of the boxes that I've gotten is just to start with. And I got my thermometer so I can test for the heat of not only the melted copper and silver, but the molds, to make sure that they've been preheated, and preheated to eliminate all the moisture that's in them so that they don't break. The small one is for small little silver bars. The bigger one is for the copper bars. Obviously, the smaller one, I could put copper in there, but they would be very, very small coppers. But this is designed for basically a 100-ounce copper bar or silver bar mold. Yes, Meg. That was Meg telling me she approves. Okay, now I've got the box unpacked, and of course, as typical Amazon, they sent me this big, huge box, which I've been excited about for almost 6 months. And then inside that box is a small little box. So this thing is smaller than I thought, but for starting out, I've seen the videos and watched the YouTubes, and I guess they are smaller than I anticipated. But, and as most things are, it has pieces and parts to put together. Some assembly required. Okay, now I think I got it all set up. There's the propane tank, and that's the bucket of water for cooling down the bars. And now I know there's a technical name for that, quenching, besides quenching, but that's ready. And of course, that's the smelter, and the I still don't learn how to pronounce that. Crucible. I'll get it. And then the top, the center block, which the gloves are on top of, is for setting hot things on. Because if you notice, there's a board underneath. That's to protect this bench that's on the deck, overlooking the lake. What a better, I don't know, do you think this would be a better location for smelting and for pouring gold and silver? I don't know. You'd have to beat this. Anyways, so there's my temperature gauge. So when the molds or the metal gets up to a certain the right temperature, then I know it's ready to pour. And I know you don't have to do that, but it's been suggested. And of course, those are my molds right there. And that's a little bit in the shadows there. Sorry about that. And then a small one, a big one. Gonna start off simple before pouring all the fancy molds. Now, the copper, if you notice, there's a pipe here. And inside that pipe is copper wire. Now, where did I get this? I did a service change last fall. And I was going to scrap out the copper, but I never did get to it. So instead of scrapping the copper, I'm going to melt the copper. As an electrician, I don't know where I would find copper. So if everything goes according to plan, all the copper that's in this pipe will wind up in these molds, and we'll have some nice bars and ingots and other fun stuff. So I think I'm ready. I don't know. Have I forgotten something? I think there's something I'm forgetting. Okay, I'm back. I did figure out a couple things I was forgetting. The first thing I forgot to do was get a silver, or not a silver, but a stainless steel spoon for dipping out the impurities from the copper metal. Second thing I forgot to do was to cure the crucible, which took me about an hour in the oven in the house, and then it's been in the furnace now. Now it's been in the furnace for about a half an hour, and it's got another half an hour to go. But I can show you how nice and hot and glowing that is. Look at that. That's the color it's supposed to be. While the crucible is heating up, I started stripping the wire, throwing a curve. The one wire, which was, bare copper, was no problem. But this wire, even though it looks like it's aluminum, as most of electricians will know, they used to do tin-plated copper, which means the very outside of the wire is tin, but the inside, which is, there it is, as you can probably see, hopefully, is copper. Now, for my first melt here, I'm not going to melt this because I don't want it to be the impure. So I do have a backup plan. I do have some scrap copper pipe, which I can melt down. So time to go get that. Okay, there we are, 45 minutes in, and it's glowing really pretty. So I checked it, and it's going good. 15 more minutes, and I can let it cool down. Okay, well, we're about to do our first melt and do our first freehand pour of copper. A couple of adjustments that I made. I went and got more cinder blocks to work off of, stone surfaces and stuff. The principal, as you can see, is out. It's now gray, so it's all nice and cured and all ready to go. And hopefully all the moisture has been out. It's been cooling down for a couple hours because I shut it down when the time was right, after about 45 minutes to an hour, and let it cool down real well. Went in and took a nap, and now it's early evening. It's about 4 o'clock up in the North Woods, and it's getting a little windy, as it usually does. It's still a beautiful evening, and let's get to melting some copper. Okay, I think we're ready to get started. There's the crucible. It's full of copper, scrap copper pieces. And those were the scrap copper piping I had laying around that I cut into little shorter pieces, and a lot of them were short pieces because you never throw away copper. Haven't for years. And my tongs are over here, all ready to go, and the molds are right here close. And I think we're good to go. Okay, as you can see, the copper is in the furnace. Let's light the paper, which came in the Amazon box. There's a good use for cardboard, Amazon stuff. We'll turn on the gas. And there she starts. Well, let's see how we're doing here. Well, she's getting warm, but she's not glowing yet. But I don't know if you can see. The copper obviously is still there. You can see some of it. And we'll just keep letting her go. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes, maybe 25. It's wind picked up for a little bit, and that may have had an effect. Or it's my first time, but if we look at this, it's really starting to glow. I don't know if you can see this, but it's really starting to glow. That copper should be melting. I'll find out in a minute. Okay. Well, let's check it. See how we're doing. Oh yeah. It's getting there. Starting to melt up now. It's beautiful evening. What better thing to do than sit at this overlooking the lake on the deck on Memorial Day, and of course, chicken, barbecuing chicken. Okay, it's getting close. I got the molds up there, heating up the molds. Without my tripod, I'm not going to try to attempt to film the pour, but you'll see the aftermath, because I want to use two hands for safeties. And yes, I have heat gloves and safety face mask. Just real quick, so you can see the molten. Okay, it's all poured. There's the molds. It's all molten copper. And that's my crucible. If I'm pronouncing that right, I'll get it. And blast furnace, smelter is shut down. It actually was, once it got melted, and I did get it hot enough, it was fairly easy to pour. So we'll let those cool down, and then we'll dump them out and quench them in the water. Okay, my battery's running low, so we'll see if I get this all. I've got the bars out of the molds. Now let's quench them. We'll start with the big one. Nice looking piece of copper bar. And let's see what happens here. Look at that. See? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. For not bad. Not too bad for my first pour, I think. In my opinion. Now let's go for the small one. And we'll quench the small one. There we go. Now, some guys that just drop them and leave them in the water, I gotta see what they look like. So I'm just gonna set them out here. I'm gonna move this mold. I'm gonna move these molds, move these bars over. Bring this one down here. Not bad for my first pour. Very nice. I feel I've accomplished something. Now I just gotta let them cool down overnight, I think. And then I gotta clean them up, polish them up, and we'll see how they look.